Shen Lian's words fell like a heavy hammer in the silent study. Shen Xingyu gritted her teeth, her nails digging deep into her palms. She looked up, her gaze meeting her father's bloodshot eyes. Her voice was clear and cold, with a barely perceptible tremor. Those business deals are built on sacrificing my marital happiness. Dad, have you ever asked me if I'm willing? Nonsense. Shen Lian trembled with rage. He grabbed a paperweight from the desk and hurled it at Shen Xingyu's feet. The sound of shattering jade made Shen Shut-ing gasp. Marriage? Who do you think you are? You're the eldest daughter of the Shen family. Your duty is to pave the way for the family's interests. The Pei family marriage is something countless people beg for, yet you, without word, ran away, and you ran due to that kind of place. By the end, his voice was filled with bitter disappointment and frustration. Shen Shutting stepped forward at the right moment, gently patting Shen Lian's back to calm him. Her tone was gentle yet carried a measured reproach. Dad, don't work yourself up. Sister might have had a temporary lapse in judgment, dazzled by the outside world. She turned to look at Shen Xingyu, her eyes holding a trace of probing. You, Iceland is so far away. Did you really go all by yourself just to relax? Shen Xingyu keenly sensed the underlying probe in Shen Shut-ing's words. Of course, she hadn't gone alone, but that person was someone she absolutely could not acknowledge now. She lowered her eyelids, masking the emotions in her eyes, her tone regaining its calm. If second sister wants to know, I can print the itinerary for you. Every hotel, every attraction, even what I ate each day, it's all verifiable. Shen Shut-ing was momentarily speechless, then forced a bitter smile. That's not what I meant. I'm just worried about you. After all, your behavior this time is so out of character. Enough. Shen Lian took a deep breath, seemingly unwilling to dwell on the matter further. He pointed to the door, his voice cold and hard. This incident has utterly humiliated the Shen family. From today, you are confined to the house for a month for self-reflection. Furthermore, I will arrange for you to gain experience at the U.S. branch. You can return when you've come to your senses. House arrest, sent to the U.S. Shen Xingyu jerked her head up, a flash of panic in her eyes. Going to the U.S. meant being away for a long time, and she unconsciously touched her abdomen, where traces of an overly fervent encounter under the Icelandic aurora still lingered. If she went to the U.S., she might not be able to return for the check-up on time, let alone see that person again. I won't go to the U.S., she blurted out. You have no say. Shen Lian gave her no chance to argue. Auntie Lin, escort the eldest miss back to her room. Without my permission, she is not to set foot outside. Auntie Lin stood hesitantly at the door, looking at Shen Xingyu's pale face, then at the furious Shen Lian. In the end, she could only sigh and step forward, whispering gently, Miss Xingyu, let's go. Xingyu was escorted back to her room. The moment the door closed, it cut her off from the outside world, severing her last thread of connection. She leaned against the door and slowly slid down onto the carpet. The room was terrifyingly quiet, with only her slightly ragged breaths audible. She fished her phone from her pocket. The screen lit up no unread messages. The man who had cursed her as a bitch at the airport seemed to have truly abandoned her. She smiled bitterly, burying her face in her knees. She should have expected nothing from him. It was, after all, a casual fling born of mutual convenience, devoid of feelings. What did 40 times matter? What did 15 days in Iceland matter? Back in reality, they were still from two different worlds. But why did her heart feel so heavy? She remembered the aurora in Reykjavik, how he held her tightly, whispering sweet nothings in her ear. He had been so gentle then, so real. It was an act, she could feel it. But so what? He had his family duties, she had her Shen family shackles. Shen Xingyu? What on earth are you hoping for? She smiled self-deprecatingly. stood up and walked to the window. Outside was the meticulously manicured garden of the Shen family estate, evergreen, ever the same, like her life, seemingly glamorous, yet every detail had been preordained. She took out the mint candy and put it in her mouth. The cool sweetness spread, but cooled and dispelled the bitterness in her heart. The following days, the Shen estate felt like a gilded cage. Shen Shutting came to visit her daily, ostensibly bringing food and keeping her company, but in reality monitoring her every move. Chen Lian avoided her completely, as if punishing her disobedience this way. Shen Xingyu acted compliantly. She ate and slept on schedule, took occasional walks in the courtyard, appearing like a resigned canary. Only she knew she was waiting for an uncertain signal, waiting for a person who might never appear. On the fifth day, Auntie Lin, who brought her dinner, seemed uneasy. She set down the tray and, while Shen Shutting was absent, quickly slipped a folded note under Shen Xingyu's pillow. "Yes," Auntie Lin whispered, a hint of urgency barely detectable. "A delivery guy just came. Said someone entrusted him to deliver this to you personally. He didn't seem bad, so I took it." Shen Xingyu's heart leapt. She nodded subtly. "Thank you, Auntie Lin." Once Auntie Lin left, she quickly closed the door and retrieved the note. It was ordinary, with just one line of printed text. No signature. 10 p.m. tonight. Back courtyard corner. Car is waiting. Shen Xingyu stared at the words, her heart pounding. Was it him? Was it him? How did he know she was under house arrest at the Shen estate? How did he know about the small gate in the back courtyard corner? She had no time to ponder. One thought swirled in her mind. Escape. She hastily tore the note to shreds, threw it in the wastebasket, and rinsed it with water, ensuring no trace remained. The following hours became excruciating. She had to act normal, giving Shen Shutting and Auntie Lin no hint. She even forced herself to eat a few bites of dinner, though it tasted like ashes. Finally, 9:30 p.m. arrived. Shen Shutting came for her routine bed check, saw Shen Xingyu already in bed reading, gave a few admonitions, and left. Shen Xingyu turned off the light, plunging the room into darkness. She lay still, listening to the wall clocks ticking. 9:50 p.m. She quietly got up, put on the light clothes she had prepared, and tucked some cash and identification into a concealed pocket. 10 o'clock p.m. Holding her breath, she cracked open the door. The hallway was silent, only a dim wall sconce glowing at the end. Like a cat barefoot, she hugged the wall, inching towards the staircase. Each step felt like walking on pins and needles. Her heart hammered, her palms slick with sweat. She finally reached the back courtyard. Hiding behind a rockery, she stared tensely at the small gate. 10:05 p.m. A black car soundlessly pulled up in the shadows outside the wall. The window rolled down, revealing the face that had haunted her dreams these past days. Hey. He wore a cap and mask, only his deep eyes visible, exceptionally bright in the night. He looked towards her hiding spot and lightly tapped the horn, a soft sound that struck Shen Xingyu's heart like thunder. It was him. It was really him. He hadn't abandoned her. He came to take her away. Without another thought, Shen Xingyu dashed from behind the rockery, sprinted to the wall corner, pushed open the slightly ajar gate, and slipped into the car. "Go now," were her first words once inside. Heian didn't speak, just gave her a deep look before starting the car. The black sedan merged into the night like a shadow. The car sped smoothly along the road. The Shen estate gradually receded into a distant and distinct dot. Shen Xingyu slumped in the seat, breathing heavily as the adrenaline faded, leaving her drained. She turned to look at the man in the driver's seat. Heian still wore his mask. His eyes held a complex mix of emotions: relief after a narrow escape, joy at seeing her, and a touch of something heavy she couldn't decipher. "How did you know I was there?" she finally voiced her doubt. He Yan was silent for a moment before replying softly. I have my ways. The Shen family's security system is nothing to me. But, you Shen Xing, you started to ask more. But he interrupted. Not now. Pei Yan's voice was slightly hoarse. Let's get out of here first. We might be followed. Shen Xing's heart tightened. She instinctively glanced back. The road behind was empty. Hey Yan, she turned, looking at his profile. Where are we going? Hey Yan's hands gripped the steering wheel tightly, his knuckles white. He didn't look at her, just stared at the road ahead. His voice low. Somewhere no one can find us. Shen Xingyu didn't ask more. She knew that from the moment she got in the car. She had entrusted her fate to this man. The car raced through the night, the road ahead unknown, yet her heart felt an unprecedented calm. Watching the scenery flash by outside, the corners of her mouth lifted slightly. She had finally escaped the Shen family cage. And, this time, she would live for herself. Pei Yan, she called softly. Huh? He responded, still not looking at her. Thank you, she said sincerely. A faint, almost imperceptible smile seemed to touch Pei Yan's lips, vanishing quickly. He didn't speak. Just slowed the car a little. Shen Xingyu looked at his profile, warmth flooding her heart. She knew their path wouldn't be smooth. The Shen family wouldn't let it go, and the Pei family surely had its own troubles. But so what? They were together now. That was enough. The car drove into denser darkness. The road ahead was unclear, but she believed that as long as he was with her, they would find their way. The aurora in Iceland had faded, but the light belonging to them had only just begun to shine.